Oh my, open field combat, Batman, what the heck is that? On today's video, the civil war in Kingdom 272 is raging. We got both sides of the story when it comes to the background of this war, as well as a bunch of rallies, cities getting zeroed, flags going down, fortresses burning, everything that happens within a civil war. This is a very unusual one, by the way, and I'll explain to you why through the video. You don't want to miss on that, because trust me when I tell you, after watching this video, you might change the way you're warring, as well as perhaps find a little bit more fun within the game. So let's get into the video. Sit back, enjoy. Hey there YouTube, welcome back to Gekko Gaming. Forget about the fact that VNTT own the Lost Temple right now. We gotta go back a little bit in it, but the previous footage I had where BR owned the fort previously is a little not very good. So where you left it as is, for the record, we're gonna have to go back a little bit. Just keep that in mind. And off the bat, we're seeing a rally on a 42 million power player. This is the madness that is the Kingdom 272 Civil War. One more thing for the record is a lot of folk got a little upset that I might have told only one side of the story, or thought that I picked a side, or even think to this day that I picked a side because I am inside BR. But the bottom line is, any alliance that cooperates with me for me to be able to get as many reports and as much of the background story as possible is welcome. Either side doesn't matter. BR just seem to be the ones to accept me first. With that being said, here is our opposition. The folks of DB, the folks of BR, and the folks of TGEG are going up against 72 LY and VNTT. You guys can see right here the power of each of the alliances, and you can also see that most of their forts have been burned at least once before. They're either healing or, well, there might have been fully healed, but they'll get burned in a moment. The way this is gonna work is pretty much the left side against the right side, and DBS at the bottom, who are a extension of TGEG. My understanding from what happened here is Kingdom 272 had a massive victory during their second KVK, and after that, the folks of VNTT migrated in, I believe, from Kingdom 149, and from there, things started getting a little bit hectic. On the one side, they're saying that VNTT came in and broke the rules and started going crazy during KE, even though there are rules, and they ended up taking Mightiest Governor away from a rally leader. It's like a lot of the basic things of alliances who own a kingdom, and then another alliance that comes in and kind of disrupts the flow of the kingdom. But that's not how the VNTT folks see it. From my understanding from them, they're looking for a little bit more equality when it comes to the shrines, when it comes to all the buffs in the kingdom, the Lost Temple rotations and all that stuff. They also wanted to get more of their big players in, which they couldn't because BR owned the Lost Temple and they capped the kingdom. And essentially, VNTT, from my understanding from a few members within there, felt like they are being oppressed from the kingdom that was not welcoming them, essentially. And the folks of DB, TGEG, and the guys who ran the kingdom before are saying that, you know, these guys came in and disrupted some of the flow, peace, and coordination that was happening within the kingdom. And that's the two sides essentially going at it. One side looking to get a little bit of a better hold inside Kingdom 272, a little bit better buffs and stuff like that, and the other side looking to maintain the rule and maintain the order that they built within Kingdom 272 that had a massive win in their second Lost Kingdom season. What you guys are seeing are a bunch of rallies on cities, on forts, on flags, on everything. Massive losses all over the place, and very interesting commanders also all over the place. This war was really something. You can see right here, for example, a rally on a flag with a Hannibal Barca Ethelfled rally on a flag. Is that the most optimal rally combination? Probably not. Probably what we would have seen as a more optimal way of using those commanders is having them as a secondary march to the main rally, and they debuff the flag, whatever it is, at the cost of dead troops, but the rally does the massive damage, which could kind of offset that. And as you can see, these guys were not shy from burning cities. As a matter of fact, hundreds of cities got burned. Hundreds. And if you think that this 64 million power player was being rallied by the best combination of commanders and the strongest, most savvy, most war veteran member of 72 LY, you'll see in a moment the combination of commanders, and you'll kind of scratch your head saying, well, that's not exactly the ideal rally. They didn't care, quite frankly. I saw massive amounts of rallies. Look at this. We're looking at a level 21 Charlemagne behind a Hannibal Barca going up against a very well-defended city. Very, very well-defended city. Tier 5s, including 75,000 sieges. 75,000 Tier 5 sieges in a rally. Tier 1s in the rally. Again, it didn't seem that the folks of either side were looking to optimize their success. They were looking to just break anything at any cost. VNTT had some insane rallies. Some of these folks of 72 LY solo swarmed cities. The folks of BR rallied massive amounts of cities and flags and forts and everything. The guys of TGEG and the guys of DBS did everything they could. And this guy getting rallied again, 64 million power player getting rallied by a Julius Caesar with sieges on the rally. I mean, if that wall would have broken before, well, at least it didn't burn. But the most likely outcome of that first rally is that his wall and watchtower are probably severely hurt, if not destroyed. The fact that it didn't burn doesn't mean that the wall is complete. And so, with that being said, those sieges are a little bit of a waste, I believe. They are made primarily for wall and the watchtower, but then again, how much damage does a watchtower really do? Is it worth the 75,000 troop cap in the rally? Probably not. This guy was also online, and they knew this. He emoted in between rallies, and they still rallied it. I don't think that this is stupidity, right? I don't think this is something that they didn't know. I think that what they did is they straight up wanted to war. They wanted to get kills. They wanted to hurt their opposition. They wanted to do anything they can do pretty much at any price. I mean, look at the severe amount of losses in this rally for practically nothing. The hospital didn't even get filled, quite frankly. And on top of that, the deaths are from the reinforcements and not from the city. More important thing here to point out is if you're reinforcing your friends, keep in mind that you will lose troops. Troops will die while your friend or alliance mate who you're reinforcing might not have any deaths whatsoever, as his hospital does fill up. But if it's not full, nothing will die. Well, because of the reinforcements. And on top of a few other things, if you have space in your hospital, no deaths occur. Here's the deal. Every rally wasn't just like a weak rally. Some of these rallies were very, very interesting and very big. A lot of these folks didn't have the most set up commanders. You saw right there holding onto this DB fort, a non-expertised Charles Martel, for example, I think he was a level 40 non-expertise Charles Martel. The expertise Charles Martel showing up in here. A Hannibal Barca with Alexander in the back popping up as leading this rally. It's clear that these folks were looking to put as much damage and pressure over really optimizing everything they were doing and how they were fighting. Now, the ownership of Lost Temple was VNTT's top priority. Why? They wanted to take the cap off of Kingdom 272 and let their friends in. Get more whales in, get more tier 5s in, and I don't know what goes from there. If they wanted to take over the kingdom entirely or not, that's not the point. You can see a bunch of folks started getting hit. Some of these hits were not that good because, you got to fill that hospital first. And these folks are online and healing, so it gets even worse. But it didn't seem like either side cared. Once Lost Temple fell in favor of VNTT, it never got hit back. The thing about this war that is really interesting is that both sides admitted that their biggest downfall is time zones. VNTT, a predominant Vietnamese alliance, is much more active during Vietnamese hours and a more eastern country, while the folks from the BR, TGEG, and co are more American and European. And so there were times in the day that are more optimal for either side. And it was very clear throughout the Civil War that during the Vietnamese side, VNTT would gain ground. And during the American-European time, they would regain their ground and gain back. And these guys were going back and forth on the time zones. And what you're seeing here is primarily the better time zone for the folks of VNTT and 72LY, which is why you're seeing so many of their rallies and their activity on the map. It's not that BR, and it's not that, look at how many rallies on cities these guys had active. It is double rallies all over the place, 72LY and VNTT. Insane, and this is only on BR. There's still TGEG, and DBS who were getting rallied as well. Can you imagine? I think that at some point these guys had like over 20 rallies marching on the field looking for cities to zero. It was really crazy. When the Vietnamese folks were on, they were super aggressive. When the American/European folks were the more active ones, they were super aggressive. But after 5 days of warring, it's not a matter of who has the most to lose or to gain, it's who hoarded the most. If the folks from VNTT came from Kingdom 149, which I understand that's where they came from, very recently, they had to dump all their resources in order to migrate. And so all the resources they might have had are either from their friends from 72LY or from their bags, which means after 5 days, those resources are really getting depleted. V Street right there getting double rallied. He was online. He wanted to take a little bit of the first rally. He took a little bit of that second rally, but when that damage counter, which is already freaking insane in favor of the one rally, when that damage counter started stacking up with 53,000 hit in one hit, 42,000, I don't know why he took this many hits, but he did hold for a little bit, trying to get a little bit of extra damage on these rallies, and he ended up insta-shielding. 24 million power account going up against two tier 4, tier 5 rallies. Probably not a good idea to have taken them. He took quite a bit of severely wounded. I don't believe he had deaths. Maybe he did, but I wouldn't. That was very rough for 30,000 dead on the folks of VNTT and 72LY. You're going to be healing for quite a while, lots of resources. And that's the problem in this war. 7 days, 5 days, how long these guys been doing it for, what, 5 days now worth of warring like this? You either spend a lot of money to get a lot of resources to keep doing this, or you run out of resources. It's one of the two. There is nothing beyond that. Now, truthfully, I don't believe either side have that many resources remaining at this point. And from my understanding, even though on yesterday's stream, a few of these folks on both sides showed up in the chat. And by the way, thank you guys for coming through to the stream, telling me the story, PMing me, sending me the reports and all that good stuff. I really appreciate you guys for the support and for the help to cover this. They were talking about the fact that this will be the longest war ever, that they're never going to give up, that Vietnamese people are very proud and they're now not going to go down, and that DBS and TGG will not let this go. I mean, look at that. You saw this a little bit, but look at that. Look at how many commanders you're seeing, how much massive chaos there is in here. By the way, this is why I join either alliance if I can, either side's alliance, so we can show on the screen the folks in blue and the folks in red. That way it's a little bit easier for you guys to see what's going on. All the blue guys are BR, and all the red guys should be 72LY and VNTT. It seems that the war is not going to be the longest war ever because people are talking peace, or at least trying to. From my very little understanding, this is very recent. It just happened like last night. I got back from work and I got a message to see like what's going on and things like that. And I realized, you know, Yeah, they're trying to get peace done, but they don't trust each other, and then they decided, you know, one alliance is not trustworthy, the other alliance says the other alliance is not trustworthy. Bottom line, cat and dog, they'll never get along. Well, cats and dogs do get along really, but still, you get my point. It seems like it's either one side is gonna lose and migrate / quit, or the other side will do that, you know. It's just one of those things, and I don't know how good this is for a kingdom's health per se, but it's clear that first and foremost, the guys from VNTT are fierce and are looking for a fight, and they're fighting it very, very well. Some of the folks, like you're gonna see in a bit, were solo swarming cities, and then the alarm went off, and freaking unbelievable amount of I was just like this, kind of moving around the map and recording for hours, and cities were burning everywhere. Look at this guy sending in a set of troops, 68 million power player. He already swarmed the guy on the top left and burned him down, and now he's swarming this guy who he had already swarmed earlier, but now both of these cities are zeroed. You'll see he hits and falls back, and so we cut that out because that's a that's a done for city. I did really like Faithy's play right here, by the way. He said, I can take this hit. VNTT can come hit it a little bit, and when I decide it's over, I'm just gonna pull out all these troops and let them, I can burn, and just go back in really quickly so the folks that you're seeing right next cannot swarm and steal the resources. Now, while I do like that play, I probably would have left some of these troops in a little bit longer. So at least the first march that came out super, super early, I would have probably left it a little bit so it does some extra damage before pulling the troops out. Let it burn and come back in. You lose a little bit of resources along the way, but if you are that severely wounded to the point where, like you saw, there were only 2 marches coming out of that city, it is better to save your troops and get burned than let yourself get zeroed. And you know, what do you do then? So pulling out your troops, I would have of course shielded, but Faithy could not shield. War Frenzy, there was a fight there for the longest time. It was very active in, and so I understand that play. I like the troop saving play, a nice one. This warrior folk friend right here had a shield in the beginning, and then his shield dropped, and when they saw the shield dropping, the rallies came in one after the other till he was zeroed. We have a couple of the reports, but we don't have the whole thing because the guys from VNTT and 72LY marched for a long, long time, and this took a little while. You can see 72 starting their rally now. This took a little while, and I wasn't going to sit to record for 2 hours, Warrior getting zeroed. So you can see where he started, but I can tell you for a fact he got wiped out. All troops gone. Hospital full, and the rest dead. So why is this war so unique and weird and interesting? It is not optimized. These guys are not looking to get the best bang out of their buck. They're looking to fight. They're looking to have some sort of fun. They're looking to hold on to their own ground. Some folks within both sides say, you know, the war is not fun. We're not trying to fight each other. We're trying to build a kingdom and win Lost Kingdom. And I understand that. But in a war-based game, the most fun is action, is the fights. Whether it is a civil war or not, a war is a war. And even though the circumstances of it are not fantastic, it's still action, and it's still a lot more entertainment than most kingdoms do have. And I can tell you almost for a fact that a big part of the community is a little bit jealous, because a civil war is not good for the kingdom, but it does help out a little bit the morale and the boredom that comes with the time of sitting in the kingdom waiting for the next Lost Kingdom. 1.7 million troops in a wrecked warriors city with some reinforcements too, and all that is gone. I think that the approach of both kingdoms, both sides of this kingdom, wasn't bad. You can only go for optimization, or you can have fun. What's the worst thing that happens? You lose a little extra troops. That's what troops are made for. Troops are made to die. Troops are made to get severely wounded. Troops are made to be wiped out and rebuilt. That's the name of the game. If you're playing the game just to keep building your troop count without using the troops, without being a little more stingy on how you use the resources that you've provided yourself in the game through troops, I don't think you'll have as much fun as just, you know, sometimes you join a rally knowing that rally is going to get you wrecked, but you're having the fun playing the game, you're pissing off the other side, and you're getting a report, you're seeing how you're doing, you're testing some commander pairs. And sometimes the rallies were optimized. Sometimes the rallies, like this Genghis Khan rally right here, were super optimized. But in an alliance that doesn't necessarily have hundreds or tens even of rally leaders, I like the fact that some folks stepped up to rally lead, even though they're not the most optimal rally leaders, which is one of the most interesting things I've not seen yet. Would I recommend doing this? I don't think recommend is a word that I would use. I think that if you have to get to this point, and if you are in a situation like this and you want to step up and help your alliance, even though you're not the most optimized rally leader, but you do have a decent set of commanders, I think it's a very good thing, showing that you are willing to step up, even though you know you're not the best person, but you're doing what you can do, which is really why I enjoyed watching this. And this goes, by the way, for both sides. Both sides, DBS, TGEG, BR, as well as 72LY, and VNTT, as well as the farms, really stepped up majorly and just tried to do everything they could to help their alliance, their group of alliances within this civil war. And it was fun to watch overall. I mean, the amounts of open field combat that happened, the amounts of cities getting zeroed, it's very unusual, even in a civil war, to see that many cities being zeroed, because even though it's a civil war, most alliances on all sides of wars think a little bit like, maybe I should not zero too many people. Maybe we can reach an agreement, and then these folk later on could be very helpful for us to be a strong kingdom. In this case, no prisoners were taken. Everybody was going down. I think that in one piece of footage at some point, I saw 20 rallies on 20 different cities marching across. It was unbelievable. I hope things work out in Kingdom 272. I hope these folks find what they're looking for. They either figure out a peace agreement or migrate or do whatever it takes. Sucks for the people who got zeroed. I hope you guys rebuild, and I hope you guys find a way to find some more fun within this game. Don't let a setback like this ruin the fun that is this game. Sometimes a setback is required for better things to come. Just keep that in mind. With a huge open field fight once again, I'm Gekko. I'm out of here. Thank you guys very much for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, if you guys found it informative, helpful, useful, slap a like on the video, and of course, subscribe to the channel. And yeah, thank you guys very much for all your continuous support. Big shout out to all the folks who helped me understand the situation in this kingdom. A few individuals reached out all the time telling me when wars are happening, what fights are going on, the stories, their points of view, the things they're trying to do, the types of agreements they're trying to make. That's how I can make better content and show the community the awesome work that happened in both sides of this war. It's just unfortunate that Kingdom 272 had to break down like this to an extent. But you know, maybe they're the phoenix. Out of the ashes, something bigger and better will rise on both sides. I'll see you guys sooner rather than later. Enjoy your rest of your day. Take care, and thank you again for all your continuous support. Peace.